So obviously the Nintendo Switch 2 has been out for almost 3 weeks at this point, and I think a lot of people have been wondering what have been my most played Nintendo Switch 2 games. And I figured in today's video I would talk about some of the games that, in all honesty, I haven't been able to stop playing. I've been switching through these 3 games the most on my Nintendo Switch 2 right now, and I wanted to give a little bit of an update of how I'm feeling on these said games. But before we jump into that video, I have to ask, guys, we are so close to 21,000 subscribers. We're less than 400 away. If you haven't subscribed yet, I'd greatly appreciate it. We're also going to be uploading our Too Many Games videos starting Saturday, so stay tuned for that. Let's jump right into this Nintendo Switch 2 video. So let's start with one that I haven't honestly talked too much about onto the YouTube channel, and I think this one's an obvious one, but that game is none other than Mario Kart World. Now this game had some controversy surrounding it, as it was the first $80 game for the system, and the price is what really had a lot of people frustrated with the game, especially considering that the marketing for Mario Kart World, in my opinion, was absolutely horrible. I mean, I don't know how many of y'all saw that Mario Kart Direct that they did in April, but it had to have been one of the worst directs I have ever seen Nintendo do. And it had me concerned on how this game was going to be, because it was the dream Mario Kart game that I have always wanted, but did Nintendo do it justice? And, well, after putting hours in amount of hours into Mario Kart World, I can safely tell you that yes, it indeed was my dream Mario Kart game done right. Definitely had concerns though going into it, because I don't know what it is. It seems like with the games that are coming out on the Switch 2, the marketing wise, Nintendo doesn't want to share too much about it, because I noticed Mario Kart had the same thing happen, similar to what's going on with Donkey Kong Bonanza. They're not really explaining too much about what's going on with that game until closer to release. So I think that might be the new thing that Nintendo is doing going forward. But let's talk about some of the things that I'm loving with Mario Kart World. I have to talk about the free roaming feature. The free roaming feature is something that I've always wanted to see Mario Kart games do, as I felt like it was something that could be done and could be done in a special way that would make the game very relaxing. And honestly, I have put a lot of hours into the free roaming features, going through the challenges, exploring this world that they have, because it's just so cool to drive around and see some of the Easter eggs that are in this world, not to mention the environment that you're around. It's pretty cool to see, especially if you're following around these characters. You will see some pretty ridiculous things happen. I mean, I know I saw the other day a clip of someone following Toad, then he had a turn signal on, and then all of a sudden he just blazes it and it's going like past the speed limit. It's pretty punny to see what's going on between this world and its environment. And I've greatly enjoyed playing through the challenges and just finding the secrets that lie within this game. One of the things that the Mario Kart Direct was talking about was these challenges, and again, they didn't do a good job of advertising it, because the challenges that they showed on the Mario Kart Direct made it look like you were just going through, hitting the P switch, collecting coins, and that's about it. But there is way more challenges into Mario Kart World in its free roaming feature that have been honestly pretty difficult. One of the ones that took me a long time to complete was there was this one that I'm supposed to jump on 3 different planes to get to where I need to be under this time limit. That was very difficult. I was very surprised at the amount of challenge that they put into these challenges and the amount of content that is within the free roaming feature, from collecting the Peach medallions to doing the P switches to exploring all of the world. I remember at one point I was just having a fun time exploring it, and then there was 3 enemies that came out of nowhere, the football players. Why can't I think of their name? I was driving around, all of a sudden I found 3 of them, and the game immediately was like, you need to defeat these enemies right here, right now, and it just continued to spawn green shells for me to throw at them as they were speeding past me. It was pretty cool. I loved the mysteries that was in the free roaming feature, and I felt like this was something that Nintendo should have done more with and promote it more, because it was very special. And I haven't got to do too much with it, but using online with the little bit I had with free roaming was pretty fun as well. Now, in terms of the cups, I had a fun time with the cups. Little bit thing that was different that I think I like, that I'm not sure many players liked about this, is they kept Rainbow Road essentially a secret. You beat all the cups, first place, and you unlock Rainbow Road. I thought that was an exciting feature just due to the fact that I feel like a lot of people look forward to Rainbow Road, and treating that as a reward of beating the game essentially, I think was really cool, and I hope that's something that we see the Mario Kart dev team continue doing with these games. And I obviously have to talk about the online. Obviously, the cups, all that was great. I love the new features that they did where you're driving to the tracks essentially. But I think a mode that has been absolutely fantastic into Mario Kart has been Knockout Tour. Knockout Tour has been absolutely ridiculous that it's been so fun to stream, having 24 players with you at once going through this, because when you have 24 players playing the game with you, the item stuff, it just gets crazy. The game gets absolutely crazy, and depending the stage that you are in, you're in a world where really, even if you're at the bottom, you can make it back to the top. Knockout Tour has been very fun, and I've had a fantastic time playing, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else comes of this game, because I think that Nintendo is going to be doing DLC for this. I am just hopeful that it is free DLC, because I think that's the only way you can justify the $80 price tag, is if all the updates that you're getting is going to be free. Because it seems like 200cc is coming to the game, as it's been heavily implied and hinted at by the producers as to why it wasn't in here on day one. I think that's definitely coming. And there's obviously noticeable things with characters missing, such as like Donkey Kong not having as many outfits, which I will say, I don't know who designed that character outfit UI system, but I think it's time to look for a different job, because that UI was absolutely horrible. Don't really know why Nintendo did it the way they did it, but I'm expecting that there's going to be things like a Donkey Kong Bonanza update, a 200cc update, stuff like that coming to Mario Kart. We just gotta hope it's free. Now, this next one is one that I've been putting a lot of hours in over the last week, and that is none other than Raidou. Now, I told y'all before, I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about this game, as I am not a big fan of the SMT series. I've made that pretty clear over the last 2 or 3 years, I feel like, on this channel. And when this was announced, I was like, it looks kind of interesting, but at the same time, it's a Persona spinoff. Do I really care much about this? And so I decided, since we're in the early stages of the Nintendo Switch 2, I was going to be picking up a lot of the games and playing them, talking about on the channel essentially. So I picked this one up. I put it in, and honestly, I am having fun with the gameplay that is within Raidou, because it reminds me of so many things combined into one game. Now, I feel like there's a lot of different combinations I could say of what this gameplay reminded me of, but I feel like the best thing that I'm going to describe this with is that it's, if you took an Ace Attorney game, put some SMT elements into the Ace Attorney gameplay, while on top of that, putting some Dynasty Warriors gameplay into it as well. Combine all those, make a fusion out of that, this is what you get, Raidou. And I've had a lot of fun with that gameplay. However, I will say, from a story, I just don't care what's going on. I've been paying attention, and honestly, it doesn't feel anything special with what's going on so far. I feel like I've seen this done before with what's going on in the story. In fact, I felt like it's been kind of predictable. I haven't had a fun time with the story, but I feel like it's important that I am having fun with the gameplay of it. So that has been a fun thing. It's better than what I thought it was going to be. I am having fun. I just don't care about the story. In fact, if I did care about the story, I'd probably be at my bed falling asleep, because to be honest with you, that's what SMT is to me. Something to fall asleep to. Which, fortunately for Raidou, I'm not falling asleep to due to its gameplay. So I feel like if you're a fan of the SMT series, Ace Attorney, maybe even Dynasty Warriors, you'll probably have a fun time with this. But if you're looking for something that's gonna give you a spectacular story, this game is not for you. And I'm sure as we get through the coming months, this is probably going to be something that goes on sale for $20. And once it gets there for $20, that's a game that I could highly, highly recommend you guys picking up, just from the gameplay perspective of it. I'll still be playing through this. I will finish this game. I'll probably play the sequel because I'm assuming that Atlas is going to go ahead and start re-releasing all of these games. I'm gonna finish this. I'll probably give a more in-depth thought into this game in a later video where I talk about games that I just have been playing the most of on my Nintendo Switch 2. I'm also gonna give it one more compliment because I was heavily impressed by the amount of stuff that they voice acted into this game, because when I've played games like this, there's a good, decent amount of dialogue that doesn't get voice acted at all. But I feel like 95% of what I have played, there has been voice acting into it, which has honestly surprised me. And I gotta give Atlas props for that, because I've definitely seen when I played games like Persona, especially SMT, that there's a lot of things that have not been voice acted. And I don't know about you guys. To me, I think I get annoyed when some games have voice acting, but then don't finish having all the dialogues voice acted. I think at that point, I would rather have the game not be voice acted if they're not going to voice act the entire game. I know that's gonna sound weird, but that's how I am. I'd rather have it in full or not have it at all. And Raidou pretty much has it all in full, which I was not expecting, especially considering the history of these games that I've played. Very impressed by Atlas on that one. The last game that I have been playing is Cyberpunk 2077. Now, I already did a review on this game, but I wanted to continue playing this and seeing how far can CD Projekt Red go with the Nintendo Switch 2. Because I did get some comments into the video where people were telling me, Max, I had a lot of frame rate dips. I don't understand how you did it. So I played even further into the game, and I never got to a part where the frame rate was dipping so bad to where the comments was suggesting. And it very much confused me, because I was wondering if I was having a way different experience with Cyberpunk compared to other people that are playing the game. And once again, I swapped from quality to performance mode. But something that I did different this time is I was like, I wonder if I didn't have these frame rate dips because I was mainly playing in performance mode. And the last few hours that I've been putting into this game, I have been doing it all through quality mode. And I've been doing it at stages at the game that I would think that there would be some dips happening at the frame rates. And honestly, no, nothing has happened. The only thing that I could say that has happened that would have happened in any other version of the game is depending the cutscene and when it's loading in, I can tell that it's loading things into the game, if that makes sense. Which, that's just kind of a common thing that has happened with all of these games. You will know that it's loading stuff in if a cutscene is happening. And I think I have actually seen some of that stuff get loaded in as I'm seeing the cutscene happen, if that makes sense. But I've been enjoying the world of playing Cyberpunk again, replaying it, seeing the stuff that has been happening into this game that wasn't in it when I played it back in 2020. And I can't wait to go through the Phantom Liberty DLC. In fact, I saw that they've made it to where you can do cross progression, to where you can put your save file from other consoles onto the Nintendo Switch 2. I think I might do that. I still might go through replaying the game because I want to experience all the new stuff that's been added with the updates that they've been putting into this game. Because like I said, when I played it to 2020, it's a totally different game from what it is now, as there's just added new gameplay mechanics, especially if you're exploring this world. There's so much more going around it that was just never there when I played it in 2020. I've been heavily impressed to seeing what CD Projekt Red did to update this game into having more content after all the controversy that was surrounding with this game. And they really took that to heart and made something what I already thought was a special game, just not a true next-gen experience, but took it and made all the issues go away and then update it to being a next-gen experience. And once again, I think the thing that I've been doing the most with Cyberpunk is utilizing the mouse controls. They have done such a great job with that. I think those mouse controls are going to be one of the coolest things that Nintendo has done onto their system, and I can't wait to see other third-party developers. And honestly, I can't wait to see what Nintendo does with having mouse controls into their upcoming games. I'm really excited to see what the future of the Nintendo Switch 2 holds, considering how well Cyberpunk has been onto this system, as I am still incredibly impressed with what's going on into this game, and I can't wait to dive into Phantom Liberty. I've said it many times, and I'll still say to it to this day. Cyberpunk 2077 is still the best Nintendo Switch 2 game from a third-party perspective, and all honesty, I don't know if this is going to be topped by anyone. That could change, but this is a game that truly takes next-gen hardware. I mean, you've seen this game struggle on things like the PS4, Xbox One, even the Steam Deck. Granted, the Steam Deck wasn't around when Cyberpunk was being developed. I'm sure if Cyberpunk was being developed when the Steam Deck was coming around, that would have been a different story. At the end of the day, they made something very special with the Nintendo Switch 2 hardware, and the Ultimate Edition of Cyberpunk truly fills the Ultimate Edition with all the new gameplay stuff that they've added to it, especially in terms of how you want to play the game. Highly recommend this game. Guys, that has been the games that I've been playing the most on my Nintendo Switch 2. I definitely want to hear from you guys. What have y'all been playing the most on the system, and what should I be playing more of? Definitely want to hear in the comments down below, and if you've been playing the games that I've been playing, let me know what your thoughts are on each game in the comments down below. Guys, make sure to backslash that subscribe button, like the video, check out the Twitter, check out the Discord server, Instagram, all that good stuff in the description below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace. Oh my gosh, bro. It's like 100 degrees outside. I am sweating in my room. I think it's probably almost 80 degrees in my room. This is brutal.